Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today's Wellness Wednesday. My name is Andrew, and today we're going to be talking about yoga. Before we begin, just our general exercise disclaimer. Exercise is not without its risks. Individuals, especially those with pre-existing conditions or past injuries, should consult with their healthcare provider before beginning any new exercise program. If at any point while you are exercising you begin to feel faint, dizzy, or experience any pain or physical discomfort, you should stop immediately and consult a healthcare provider. Content provided today is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be used as medical advice. If you do have any questions, please consult with your healthcare provider. Again, we're going to be talking about yoga, and starting a yoga practice doesn't have to be intimidating, especially if you're new at it and you've been interested in maybe going to some classes, a gym, maybe a yoga studio, but you're a beginner and you're worried about it. Something that you want to remember is that yoga may push you out of your comfort zone. You might be moving your body in new and unfamiliar ways. You might even be breathing in a way that seems not normal or unnatural. But it's important to remember that that is a part of yoga and that is completely normal. There are also numerous benefits of yoga, both physically and mentally, and they become more apparent the more that you practice yoga. Like anything else, it's going to be the most challenging in the beginning, so it's very important to stick with it, to continue to practice, and like anything else, take small steps, slowly progress, and that is the key for developing a solid foundation for anything that you're starting new. In today's session, what we are going to review is just a brief overview of what yoga is, some of the benefits, and how you could start to practice. At the very end, the last section, we are going to review some beginner-friendly poses to help you get started with your yoga journey. If this is your first time ever really looking into yoga, I highly recommend you just take a look at the slides. I'm going to review the poses with you, but if maybe you're a little bit more familiar with yoga and you would like to try out some of the poses, you are more than welcome to try. But if it's your first time, I encourage you just to sit back and watch. We will be going through the sun salutation, the first warrior pose. Very beginner friendly, very easy to do. So I hope that you leave today's session with a brief, a little bit better of an understanding what yoga is and some basic skills to incorporate it into your lifestyle, getting more exercise throughout the day. Yoga is a centuries old practice that is used to enhance your mind body connection or the muscle mind connection. It's a system of physical poses and postures, breathing techniques, and sometimes meditation. However, in the West, it is practiced more independently with an emphasis on promoting physical and emotional well being. Strength, flexibility, and balance are improved greatly through yoga, and that's why it is so common in workout routines, especially in the past few years. You've probably noticed how much more apparent it is. Every gym seems to be offering classes. It's online everywhere. There's yoga studios popping up. It is a great benefit to incorporate in your activity, your physical exercise, whatever workout routine you might have, or it's a great jumping off point as well. There are many different types and names for yoga, and it goes back thousands of years. Thankfully, in the US, we refer to them more generally, so it's much easier to figure out which ones that you prefer. We're going to go over a couple of them. So the first one is Hatha yoga. That's just simply a catch-all name for basically any type of physical yoga that could be strengthening, relaxation, flexibility types. Those are going to include floor, seated positions, as well as standing poses. What you will often hear classes referred to as is going to be things like restorative yoga. That is going to be very slow, more meditation focused, and it's mostly floor based poses. Great jumping off point if you're brand new to yoga, starting out with some restorative yoga. Next one is flow. This is a little bit more active. It's a moving meditation with looping poses and postures, which can range from beginner friendly to more advanced. That's also a good jumping off point as well. Couple more challenging ones would be power yoga. This is not set postures. It's more of a athletic flow style class for a full body workout with a focus on breathing. It's going to burn calories and improve your strength. And then hot yoga. This is going to be performed in a heated studio. This could be very intense and challenging, and it could be incorporated, with various types of yoga. So it's important to note your yoga environment as well. For your space, it only needs to be a little larger than your yoga mat, just a couple feet, so that way you are free and clear of any hazards. You don't have to have a dedicated room to it. You can see in the picture here, this is just someone's living room that they made sure there was a couple feet of space So that way they're nice and safe while they're doing it. Another great tip is having natural or warm lighting. You really don't want bright LEDs blinding you while you're trying to relax and do yoga. Choosing a time that is quiet, relaxing, and you don't have any obligations. So maybe that's first thing in the morning, in the evening, maybe there's a certain time of the day where there's no obligations, nobody needs you. Great time to practice some yoga. And then just make sure you're personalizing your space. And this could be different for absolutely everyone. Whatever will make it your own, make it relaxing, whether it's plants, essential oils, whatever works for you, just customize it. Some other basic things that you might want to do is just one, get some equipment. Yoga, you don't need anything to do it, but it will definitely enhance your experience if you get things like a non-slip yoga mat, whether it's thick or thin, it's completely preference. Yoga blocks are great because they could help you extend your reach and they could also add some support where you need it. A yoga strap as well, especially if you are very stiff, this will increase your range of motion. And some other basic things. You want to make sure you have comfortable clothing that you could move your body with and you could stretch, a water bottle on hand, and things like towels, like a hand towel for yourself, as well as a separate towel for your mat. And then if you're doing something like restorative yoga, a blanket is always great because it could be used as support as well as cushion. There are so many benefits of yoga. I will not have time to go through all of them today, but brief overview of some of the benefits. You're going to have an overall improvement in your physical as well as your mental health. But studies have shown that you will actually have an increased adherence to other healthy habits as well. There are surveys and studies for adults that have shown that just simply practicing yoga of any type is associated with better eating habits, more fruits and vegetables, less sugary, sweetened beverages, as well as more minutes a week of moderate to vigorous activity. Some high level benefits that you will get that you should definitely know about is the main one is chronic pain reduction. Practicing any sort of flexibility, balance, movements will help with chronic pain, but it will also help with weight control if you're doing some of those power yogas, more calorie burning activities. Could also help lower your blood pressure, improvements of balance, flexibility, as well as muscular strength. So many to go over, and there's many that we don't even really think of. You're going to have an improved sciatica. It will aid with your digestion, relieve symptoms of menopause. The list goes on and on and on. And some helpful tips before you jump right into yoga and start, things that you want to remember. Any pose, whatever type of yoga you are doing, you can modify. And your left and your right sides might differ. You might be better one side versus the other, especially if you've had any injuries or anything like that. Always feel comfortable to modify a pose to make it work for you. Always listen to your body. You never want to be feeling any type of pain or great discomfort. And if you are feeling any of those, simply stop. Do not do that pose. Practice is going to look different every single time that you try, but it's important to keep trying. Some types of yoga you might not be great at in the beginning. Some might really resonate with you. Doesn't mean don't do them. Just continue to practice. And again, you will get better. And lastly, if you are pregnant, if you've had any injuries, especially things like chronic back or neck issues, definitely consult with your healthcare provider, regardless of what the exercise is. And for the second half of the presentation, we will be going through the sun salutation, or you might hear it as the warrior pose. But these poses are done in the order from for beginner-friendly yoga routines. So this is a great jumping off point if you have never done yoga before. I'll give you guys a second. If anybody wants to follow along, just maybe step back from the computer, make sure there's a foot or two around you of just safe space. Or if you just want to see the pictures, you could find this exact routine online numerous places. This is an extremely common routine. So feel free to watch along or just simply learn. We will start out by explaining exactly what you need to do for this pose, and then I'll just give you a brief overview of the benefits of each pose. Of course, not every benefit because we would be here all day, but just some high-level ones. So first, we start in the mountain pose. So you will stand with your feet hip-width apart, with your hands at your side, and your palms facing forward. Draw the belly into your spine, standing tall, lengthening your neck, reaching through the crown of your head. Draw your shoulders down away from the ears and relax your facial muscles, and you will press through all four corners of your feet. This improves your posture, strengthens your lower body, your thighs, knees, ankles, and it will firm your abdomen. From mountain pose, we move into the chair pose. So inhale to reach the arms overhead with your palms facing inward, Exhale as you bend the knees, aiming for your thighs to be parallel with the ground. Your feet should be hip width apart, and you will reach your tailbone down to the ground, and you will be maintaining a flat back. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Press your weight into your heels, so that way you will be able to lift your toes off of the ground. This will strengthen all of the muscles in the lower body, as well as stretch your chest and your shoulders. From the chair pose, we move into forward fold and then into the flat back. So from chair, you will exhale as you fold your torso forward, reaching your hands to the ground. Maintain a slight or a full bend in the knees, depending on how flexible you are, and relax your neck, allowing your head to hang. Then you will raise up just to flatten your back, put your hands on your knees, on your shins, whatever is comfortable for you. This will stretch the front torso and strengthen your back and improve your posture as well. From the flat back, we move into the high plank and then into the chaturanga or the low plank. So from that forward fold, plant your hands down onto the floor, shoulder width apart, and your fingers spread wide. Step the feet back, draw the belly into the spine, and push through your heels as you reach through the crown of your head. Shoulders should be stacked over your wrists, and your neck long as you push the floor away, keeping your hips lifted into the chaturanga or the low plank. Many different benefits here as we're using a lot of muscles. So this will stretch your shoulders, hamstrings, calves, your arches. It will strengthen your arms and your upper body as well as your legs. From that low plank or the chaturanga, we move to upward facing dog. So slowly with control, lower the arms onto your belly. Hands should be in line with the lower ribs. Hug your elbows into your sides, and you will press onto the tops of your feet into the floor as you inhale. Exhale as you push the floor away, lifting your chest up and keeping your hips low to the floor. This improves your posture. It will strengthen your spine, arms, and wrist. Also stretch that upper body, lungs, as well as your abdomen. From the upward facing dog, we move into downward facing dog. So you will curl your toes under you as you press through your hands to lift your hips towards the sky, pressing your heels down onto the floor. If you feel that your hamstrings are tight, feel free to keep a bend in your knees. Keep your heels off the ground then. Numerous benefits here, stretching the upper and the lower body, as well as strengthening the arms and the legs. And then lastly, we move into our sun salutation, or often referred to as the warrior one pose. So from downward facing dog, you will step your right foot forward in between your hands, and you are keeping that bend in your right knee, and inhale as you come up. You will then raise your hands overhead, pressing your palms together. And you want to keep your heels, the heels of your feet in line. The right knee should be stacked over your ankle, keeping your back leg straight. And you could feel free to lower your arms in front of you if your shoulder flexibility doesn't allow you to raise them completely overhead. Then you want to gaze at your fingertips. If you're having trouble balancing in this position, which is common, feel free to widen your stance rather than just keeping those heels in line. From this position, you could exhale back down to the floor, step your right foot back, returning to that high plank to low plank, going through downward and upward facing dog, and then you could simply repeat that process and then start with your left leg, and you could see how this becomes a flow. You could just continuously do that. Many benefits here, too many to list again, but stretching in your chest, upper body, shoulders, neck, belly, and groin, strengthening the upper body, the back, the lower body as well. So again, very beginner-friendly poses here. Again, this is the sun salutation. You could find these everywhere online, videos, different resources. You could also check out, if that was something that was interesting to you, is the Wellness Online platform. If you are a Geisinger Health Plan member, you will be able to see exercise videos, use step trackers, link devices to be able to sync and keep track of everything in there. I could put these in the chat at the end, but all you need to do is just go to your geisingerhealthplan.com website, sign into the health and wellness, and you will see the Wellness Online portal. And you'll see all these different videos and resources in there. And as we wrap up today, just a couple key takeaways to go over, things that we mentioned. Yoga is extremely safe, extremely effective exercise practice that's going to boast numerous physical and mental benefits of doing it. absolutely great for beginners. You could do it anywhere, anytime without any equipment. Of course, it will be improved by just getting the basics, things like a mat, blocks, towels, things like that, and always tailor it to your desired intensity. And make sure you check out the Geisinger Health Plan website to access all of your wellness resources. You can see exercise videos, step trackers, and more. If you guys have any questions, please throw them in the chat and somebody will get back to you with some answers there. I just want to thank you guys for attending today. The last thing that I have for you is just member resources, other things that are available to you. 24/7 telenurse service. You can call the number on the screen there. Events and programs. If you're interested in attending any other programs or offerings through Geisinger, you can go to the link as well, or simply scan that QR code with your smart device. And then lastly, neighborlypa.com will connect you to low to no cost resources in your area. All you need to do is put in your zip code and it will connect you there. Again, my name is Andrew. I want to thank you guys for attending today's Wellness Wednesday, and I hope you guys have learned something and you enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.